Hi, it's Aiden from Bow River Trout Fitters. I'm one of the teachers for our intro fly fishing courses, and today I wanted to take some time to show you 5 basic knots that I use every day when I'm on the water. So first, there are a few things we should mention. Beginning with our knot, there's 2 parts to it. We have our main line here and our tag end or leading end here. I'll be using that terminology throughout the video, so always remember that. When you're tightening your knot down, you want to moisten the knot or lubricate the knot so the mono doesn't burn itself and make it weaker. You can do that with saliva or some river water, whatever you've got. And then the last thing I should mention, when you're trimming this tag end, you don't want to trim it too close to the knot because the knot will move a little bit. So trim it a little distance away from the knot. That way it won't pull out on itself. So the first knot we're going to go through, and perhaps the most important knot as a beginning angler, is the clinch knot. It's used to attach a fly to the end of your tippet. So let's show you how to do it. Okay, so the first step in our clinch knot, obviously we're going to put the line through the eye of our hook. Here we have the main line, here we have our tag end. We're going to take our tag end, cross it over the main line, and then go around our main line 5 to 6 times. Here we're just doing a demonstration using this rope, so I'm only going to do it 4 times around to make it a little easier. But when I'm using fine monofilament, I will typically go around 5 to 6 times, and that will hold it nice and secure. So once I've gone around here, I will take this tag end and go back through this main loop that I created, hold that down a bit just so it doesn't come undone, and then when you tighten the clinch knot, you just want to pull from the main line, get it nice and tight, and that knot will seat correctly. You know that you've done this correct if your tag end is coming off your main line at a 90-degree right angle, and you've got those nice wraps there, all symmetrical and looking good. The second knot we're going to go over is a basic loop knot. Like the clinch knot, it's used to add a fly onto the end of your tippet, but it is very handy for nymphs or streamers and flies that you want to add a little bit more action to when they're in the water. Okay, so the first step in our loop knot is to create just a basic overhand knot in our line. Once we have that, we're going to move it slightly back on our main line, leave this tag end nice and long to make the knot a little easier. Then we're going to take this end, put it through the eye of our hook, and back around. Now, we want this loop knot to be fairly small. We still want to give our fly some action, but we don't want it to be big and bulky. So in order to do that, we're going to make this overhand knot fairly small. Now, we're going to take our tag end, put it across our main line. So we've created this loop, and we have this overhand knot inside of this loop. Then we're going to take our tag end, go around our main line 2 to 3 times. Again, here I'm using this thick rope, so I'm only going to do it twice to make it a little easier on myself. But if I was using monofilament or something on a day fishing, I would typically do 3 times. Once we've gone around our main line, we're going to pinch it off like so, and then take this tag end and go back through our overhand knot and also this main loop that we've created here. Pull that tight, and then pull mostly on our main line, and that knot will sit. Sometimes you got to pull on the tag end a bit, but there's your basic loop knot there. Gives the fly some action, and also a very strong knot as well. The next knot we're going to do is a basic double surgeon's knot. It is used to add tippet onto the end of a leader or to tie 2 ends of tippet together. I personally like this knot because it's quick and easy. I wouldn't use this knot when adding a thicker and very strong piece of tippet onto a very fine one. It only works when the tippet are similar in diameter and strength. Before we begin this knot, we should clarify that this orange rope here is our leader end, which will eventually go to our fly line, and this purple rope here is our tippet end, which will eventually go to our fly. We're going to begin this knot by placing both of these lines together and just placing them side by side. We're going to grab the lines, make a simple, basic overhand loop. Then we're going to pinch that loop off, take our tippet end of our line, come down through the loop that we've created. Sometimes you got to pull from underneath, down and under the loop. Pull that tighter again, make it a little easier on us. Then we're going to take this tippet end, go through the loop again, just as we did before. And essentially there's a knot. Now there's our knot. So pulling this together, we want to pull on all four ends evenly. Sometimes you got to give an extra tug on these tag ends here to make sure that that knot sits evenly and cleanly. The next knot we're going to do is a blood knot. It's an alternative to the double surgeon's knot, although it is a little stronger, especially when tying two pieces of tippet that vary significantly in diameter. So, just as our double surgeon's knot, we have our orange line here, which is going to go to our fly line, and this purple rope here, which is eventually going to go to our fly. I'm going to start by overlapping them, make this overlap nice and long. I'm going to start by grabbing right here in the middle, take this orange end, so our main line end, and go around our line here. Generally with monofilament, I'll go 4 to 5 times, but because I'm using rope, I'm just going to go around 3 times. So once, twice, and 3 times there. Then I'm going to take this tag end, come back through, go away from my body here, back through in between these 2 lines, and pinch that right there. Then I'm going to just repeat that exact same step, except with this other tag end. I'm going to go around my main line once, twice, 3 times. Now for this knot, we want to have these tag ends go opposite way through this loop here. So this one is going away from me. I'm going to have this one come through, going towards me, just like so. Again, pull that tight a bit. Now, there is essentially our blood knot. Looks a little ugly now, but we're going to pull it tight, pull on the main line, pull on the tippet end, just like so. And that knot will seat perfectly. So we've got our 2 tag ends coming out at a 90-degree angle, our main line and our tippet end, just like so. The last knot that we're going to do is a perfection loop. I use this knot to make a loop on the end of my leaders. Sometimes leaders won't come with a loop, or sometimes you need to replace that loop. This is a great knot to do that with. I will also use this knot when I'm streamer fishing to add a loop onto a section of level monofilament, so I can then loop that onto a loop of the end of a sink tip. One thing that should be said about this knot is you do lose quite a bit of strength when using it with finer tippets and finer diameter monofilament. So let's do our perfection loop now that we're going to tie at the end of our mono. We're going to start by just creating a fairly large loop here. We're going to have our main line and our tag end come underneath. Now granted, the size of this loop you want to be slightly larger than the size of perfection loop you want to create. Now that we've created this loop, we're going to pinch it off, take our tag end, come over top of this loop that we've created, right, over top of that loop, and then pinch it in behind. You want this second loop to be slightly smaller than this original loop you created. The thing with this second loop is that it's going to determine the actual size of the perfection loop we're creating. So we've made that second loop. We have our main loop and our second one, and this tag end here. We're then going to take this tag end, put it in between the small loop and large loop, just like so, and then pinch that off. So we've got our main large loop, our small one, and the tag end that comes in between the 2. We're then going to come through our main big loop, grab the smaller loop, and pull tight on our knot, pulling on the main line and the loop. And when you've done this knot correctly, the tag end should be coming off the main line at a 90-degree angle. So one final thing that I want to show you guys, it's not exactly a knot, but it's something we use almost every day on the water, and that is a loop-to-loop connection. So I'm going to take my orange here. Again, let's pretend that this is the end of a fly line. I got my purple here. Let's pretend that this is the end of a leader with a loop on it. I'm going to take my fly line here, go through the loop of the leader, and then take the end of the leader, go through just like that, the loop of the fly line. And then I'm going to pull that tight, and what I'm left with is a nice loop-to-loop handshake connection in the end of the lines there. So it sits just like so. So thank you guys so much for joining us today. Please watch the rest of our YouTube videos, and as well check out our website, bowrivertrofitters.com, for everything you need.